Jacksonville Jaguars.
Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes, is presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
On 1010XL,
Now your hosts,
Lauren Brooks, Blythe Brumleve, and Lauren Rue.
I guess I'm done. Peace out. That's it.
I think
I'm gone.
I think things must have been planned to where you were not here days before your second baby was
First
born.
it's Blythe's not here, now I'm not here.
One day we're going to get it right.
It's all good. I don't care.
Donna's like, you know what? I'll just leave right now.
No, you can't leave yet.
You know what?
No, no.
I'm going to pull a Vontae Davis and peace out in the middle of the show.
Oh, that's rude.
I like it. We are going to bask in the Jaguars win over the Patriots tonight, and it's Titans Hate Week. So much fun stuff going on. We also have a couple special guests. Ashlyn Sullivan, as always, will join us from Jaguars.com, and also Robin Albanese from the Women's Board will join us to preview the Florida Forum Speaker Series. Before we get to all that, of course, we got to talk about that Patriots beatdown. And I'm going to say beatdown because it only felt like the Patriots could potentially even get back in parts of the third quarter. 31-20, the crowd was fantastic. Blake Bortles had one of his best performances. And I'm going to look to the two ladies who have certainly questioned Blake a lot. Because I will say, I used to rip Blake Bortles, and then I came full circle, and now I do not question him. But Donna, you and Lauren, you had questions. Did he show you everything he needed to show you on Sunday?
He showed me who I don't know who that man is. And let me tell you, when I was leaving, even when we were sitting there, I enjoyed it hearing other Jaguars fans say the same thing, because I'm like, I'm not in the minority. Like, I'm not on my own little island of saying he can't do this, he can't do that. Where everybody, the same unison thing was going. When did we switch quarterbacks? Who is that guy? When did Tom Brady become our quarterback? There was everybody I heard all around. I was like, see, okay. So that's good. It makes me feel good. I feel,
You're not a hater then? Is that not the category you got plugged into for being...
I've never been the hater. I thought I've always been realistic. And but it was so impressive, and so much so that when I was there with my mom, and she got mad at me because I would be cheering for both teams.
Good.
I'm like, oh, that was great. Like, especially with the Cole catch. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Catch of the year already.
And she's yelling at, why are you cheering for them? I'm like, I can't help it. They're so much fun to watch right now. I don't know what I'm seeing. I don't know this offense. I don't know what I'm looking at. So it was so much fun.
It would have been so funny to watch you. Like, interception, she cheers.
It was.
A fumble,
Well, yeah.
cheer.
The only thing, I was like, just don't hurt Brady. That's all. I don't care. Just don't hurt him.
See, I was screaming the
That's
opposite.
it.
Hurt him. Get him.
Unique tried to hurt him. All right, Lauren. What
no,
say you?
I was shocked. Listen, I had been told that at times he looks phenomenal. Maybe not phenomenal, but there's great Blake, good Blake, Blake, okay Blake, and bad Blake. Like, there are these range of emotions that just kind of go with his performance, right? And I don't know that anybody expected to see 375 yards and 4 touchdowns in that performance. And I was thoroughly impressed. I'm also very cautiously optimistic about seeing that kind of a performance again. Meaning I don't expect, I'm not naive enough to expect that out of him against the Titans. I think that the Titans are not a very good team, but I don't expect Blake to be able to replicate that, and he shouldn't have to, and he's not that guy, and at time he was phenomenal, right? But to think that that's him moving forward for the next 14 weeks, I don't think anybody really thinks that. But for that moment, he was awesome. I mean, there was a throw it didn't look like he couldn't make for the most part. His wide receivers looked so much better. I was very critical of them after game 1 because, look, they went up to New York and they won. And there was nothing flashy about it, and they didn't score in the second half, and they didn't have Leonard Fournette after the second quarter. And I thought, if they don't have Fournette against this Patriots team, I don't know, based on what I saw the week before, what the hell they're possibly going to be able to do to put some points on the board. And I was dead wrong, and I was glad to be wrong about that. But I was really impressed by his performance. But I'm also kind of a wait and see, right? So I don't expect to see that a million times over. I expect he'll have a bad game at some point in the next 14 weeks to come. So I kind of reserve the right to judge him week by week, and maybe that's not fair. But when you come in new to a situation and you've seen stuff from afar and you've heard the national media talk about him and he has the reputation he has, and sometimes stats don't lie. I try to just take him week by week and just evaluate each performance as it goes on, because the first game against the Giants did look like a Super Bowl team. That team that played on Sunday against the Patriots and had control of that game almost the entire time looked like a Super Bowl team to me.
Well, and Blythe, offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett deserves a ton of credit because he was able to script these plays to where if Blake wanted to go deep, he had a receiver down there. If he didn't, if he just wanted a guy coming across in the middle as a check down, he had that. So Blake could see his options all in front of him, and the receivers, of course, did a terrific job. What was most impressive to you about Blake? Was it spreading the ball around? Was it the way he used his legs?
I think it was the confidence. And what you've seen with this guy is that even over the period of last season, that you've seen his confidence rise. And what the biggest knock against him in the offseason was consistency. Can he put it together? Can he win the game for the Jags? And that's what he proved yesterday. He's not going to have a perfect game every week. No quarterback in the league ever does. But you got to be able to win the ugly ones like against the Giants, and you got to be able to dominate against a Super Bowl caliber team in the Patriots who have been there year in and year out. And what's really fascinating is that you're starting to see some of the national guys come around. Saw an interview with Trent Dilfer on the Rich Eisen show that he was complimenting Blake on how he had openly admitted that he was bad-mouthing him more than a year ago, and that after last year's performance, he really felt like he needed to apologize. He sought Blake out, apologized to him, and they had a real heart-to-heart conversation, and Blake said that it was really his teammates showing that confidence in him and being vocal about that confidence that really helped him get to where he is mentally. Because I think that the mental aspect of the game has always plagued him early on in his career, and towards the middle of the last season and even into this season, you've seen that confidence rise, and it's proven through his play.
And it's funny, after the game on Sunday, when I went to the post-game presser, Blake said, we felt good all week, because a lot of the questions were about Fournette and changing the game plan and the aggressive game plan, and he's like, we felt good all week, from the very beginning, whether Fournette was playing or not. That tells me that this Jaguars team knew that they were going to win the one-on-one matchups against the Patriots. And other than Tom Brady and maybe Rob Gronkowski, there was almost no position where the Patriots were going to be better than the Jaguars. That's what it told me. And you could tell they were chomping at the bit for that game. And I don't really think it had a lot to do with revenge. I think it had everything to do with, we want to show the nation that was that last year and that postseason. Right. And it wasn't winning the AFC South absolutely wasn't a fluke. All right, the new Duval tradition. Tony Baselli started it, or at least led the inaugural one, and then somebody else will do it this week for each home game, gets up on that southeast corner kind of railing and screams Duval. Did it have the effect that you were hoping?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really the only thing that really gets me hype before the game, it's really before the games with the flyovers. Like if the F-15s or F-16s that are flying over, like the loud planes fly, that's what gets me hype. The bell doesn't do it. I mean, sometimes the military, they're surprising their family or something like that. That's heartwarming. But really, the energy within the fans, knowing everything that we've been through over the past decade, that's what I fed off the most. And I did appreciate Tony. He actually gave a really good Duval, because now that it's becoming more mainstream, you hear a lot of people out there doing this chant, and they don't sound very good. It's very cringy, and y'all people know who you are, and you need to work on it. But Tony did a great job at it.
Do you want to explain the difference?
Who are you calling out? I got to know who you're calling out.
The post game show with Dempsey and
they had all the
callers do it. And I'm like, y'all got to step your game up.
Callers didn't do it.
Some of the callers, I'm like, y'all got to practice at home before you get on the phone.
We need good Duval and we need bad Duval. We need you to give us an example of each.
Wait, what? No, I'm not doing a bad Duval, but a good Duval, I'll do that all day, especially after a couple bourbon and gingers.
So Donna, you were in the stands. To me, the thing that hypes up the crowd the most is on those giant video boards, the defensive players that they show, and in between times, they get up and they try and make sure that the crowd knows.
Which, I'm so grateful that they have the big boards, because did not know that because of how phenomenal this defense is, y'all stand for the whole damn defensive time. I'm like, well, I can't see crap, so I'm looking at the board now. Like, that's good to know, which I don't need to stand the whole game anyways, But it was great, man. we were in a mess of fans. It was a few, not a lot of Jags fans around us because we were on the visitor side, and there was a good amount of Pats fans. But it was just it was a nice mixture of nobody being mean, just everybody cheering and having everybody was getting along, and it was nice. Some guy, one of the Jags fans, came over and tried to. He was high-fiving the whole row. And the Pats fan in front of him was like, nope. And so the Jags fan put his arm out to give him a handshake, and they shook hands, and that was it. I was like, see?
Oh, I thought he was going to fake him out.
No.
I did not have
that's nice.
the same experience. I had a very rude Pats fan next to me. Contemplated going to jail.
Are you contemplating him going to jail or you
me going to jail?
You going
Especially
to jail.
in the middle of that third quarter. I was like, oh, if he keeps talking. But then I did see another fan, too, that there was a couple guys up in like the 400 section, and they were recording themselves talking about the game, and there was a Patriots fan that walked up behind them, and she was really rude and flipped his hat off of his head.
There's moron in every fan base.
I just heard more bad stories about the Patriots with this game, and I just thought we'll get into it later on.
I don't claim them as fans.
Yeah. With the Bills last year, and they got that bad reputation. It was significantly worse with the Patriots this weekend.
We're bearing the lead here. We want to know, what did you wear to the game?
A tank top because it was freaking hot.
Yes, but with what on it?
Nothing.
You went neutral?
Just a tank top. Yeah.
What color?
Blue?
It was blue. I have like two tank tops. One's black and one's blue, and I'm not wearing black.
Was it Patriots blue, Donna?
No, it was just blue. It was probably more Red Sox blue, but
okay. Are you sure?
Yes.
All right. Because the conversation last week was, what was she going to wear? And you debated.
And I debated
on what? What was the What were the possibilities? Because we didn't even hear what the possibilities were.
Well, until I actually tried on stuff, and I go, oh, I can't wear this. I have an old socks tank top that I love, but yeah, that was trying too hard. I'm like, oh, I can't. If you can see where, when the Prego clothes, where you have the extra belly band, if you could see the belly band, you can't wear that shirt.
And after all the criticism you've given to other fans showing up in other jerseys, you better not show up in a Red Sox shirt.
Oh, yeah, but that's still Boston.
Different sport. Different sport.
I saw two people, and I thought of you, Rue, but I saw two people with Cowboys crap on. I'm like, that should be illegal. You should not be able to walk in here with Cowboys crap. I'm just like, come on, they're not even playing here. That to me bothers me.
Maybe they're going to like the Bud Zone area.
The Cowboys did play later that night, and they won.
But they're not playing there.
No, I know.
That bothers me. I'm not
arguing with you on that. I don't argue with a pregnant lady.
No, I don't like other teams of.
Yeah, why wear somebody else's jersey to a game that's not? I get it.
I don't like that.
All right. So a tank top. That was really not what I was hoping you would say. I had something more controversial.
I had some wicked under the boob sweat going on too. So
yeah, you did.
That's why you wore the dark colors.
It was beautiful.
I respect it.
Yeah, you are not alone. Are we seeing a changing of the guard in the AFC? We're going to get into that next, and we're going to preview the Jaguars-Titans game. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes on 1010XL.
Jaguars beat reporter Hayes Carline takes you inside the team's locker room so you can catch all the news and nuggets you need to know. Check out his blog at 1010XL.com. His blog is brought to you by Lloyd's Construction and Consulting.
That's my little...
The last 2 years, the Jaguars returned a punt for a touchdown, earning local families $100,000 towards a Dreamfinders home. Lauren Brooks here letting you know that could be you this season. Visit any Dreamfinders Homes model and register to win the Take It to the House promotion for your chance at scoring $100,000 towards your Dreamfinders home. And make it a point to visit Dreamfinders Homes' newest stadium home before any Jaguars home game. Take a free tour and register for a chance to win amazing grand prizes. Dreamfinders Homes will select one winner per home game only at Dreamfinders Stadium Home 2.0 by Gate 4 at TIAA Bank Field.
Thank you.
Thank you. But I stayed hydrated. So for the 80-plus fans that somehow had to get, taken care of.
Oh, dang.
If my 4-day away Prego ass could last.
Well, it's because they weren't only drinking.
That's why I'm like, come on now, fools.
And it was a later game, which means, like, when we got there,
tailgating was longer.
Maybe not half, but close to half the parking lot was already full. So you're talking about people that started probably at 9 or 10 a.m. and it's not till 4:30.
I would die.
It is later. Just a reminder, we are at the Dream Finders, not this is for you, Donna. Stadium Home 2.0 next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, okay.
Yes.
Do we have a player interview?
Jen has not told me anything about
You should get Hackett again.
that.
He was
That's up to
awesome.
Jen. I don't ask.
This
He was
girl that was
fun.
killed by that guy,
Yeah.
it's the second college-age woman in Iowa to be murdered. Like something.
First one
Like
was,
ever?
was
No, just
Oh,
I'm sorry, I
random,
didn't
right?
explain that correctly. Yeah, well, this guy had the first girl who got killed a couple of months ago was
The
out for a
runner,
run,
yeah.
and she did like the same, and he
Is it the same guy?
No, because the first guy turned himself in.
Oh, okay.
And this guy apparently she was 22, he was 22. So I have a feeling he knew her. That's
Yeah.
just my gut. And
she was out playing
said
an
he
early
had
round.
known address.
Yeah,
What does that mean?
and he I guess
Stalked her.
and just killed her out. I don't know the specifics of how. That's just horrible though.
Mhm.
That's the reality, right? Like we as women can't half the time do shit by ourselves.
Right.
Because of some freaking weirdo. Because there's
Yeah.
crazy ass dudes.
I've always wanted to take self-defense classes.
You've always wanted to?
Mhm.
Yeah.
My brother, that's one of the things he does at Marshall. He teaches that for women.
I've taken one before. It's been a long time. It was fun though.
Yep.
Just like the golf coach, I guess.
So what I was debating on and waiting on was my brother knows the wide receiver coach for the Pats.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was trying to get us field passes. So that's why I was like, well, I can't really go on the field, but his passes with a Jaguar shirt. I wouldn't think that would be.
Yeah.
But then my Jaguar shirt, the only one I have is black. I'm like, I'm not. No.
I wore black only because I didn't want people to see me sweating.
I could care less. It was all.
It was everywhere. I was sweating from every pore in my body.
The only thing I felt bad was because I debated on wearing this. I'm like, I might just wear this, but then I can't really close my legs, so I was like, it wouldn't be a good idea. But I wore white capris, but they're so thin, and so when I got up, they were drenched in sweat. So now they're more like see-through. I was like, well, oh well, have fun.
So
I don't
last
care.
year I wore a teal dress and I was like, I'm going to be really smart. I was like, I'm not going to wear a bra with this dress because if I sweat, then I'll be fine. But I ended up sweating right through the dress.
Yeah.
And it was disgusting. Like, I ended up just using my purse like this the whole game.
It was bad, man. I felt bad. I was so surprised to see some of the guys in full jerseys and jeans. I'm like, what? How are you men doing this? That's crazy. But I did enjoy the one lady that right at the beginning of the game that got on the boards with the Tom Brady cheats at Fortnite sign.
Oh, I didn't see
That was funny. Mom's like, the Red Sox play Fortnite, not the Patriots. I was like, Mom, it's just funny.
I thought the flyover would be louder, though.
The crowd was loud.
Yeah. They were rocking.
It was impressive.
1 minute.
Thank you.
FM. Wake up and smell the great outdoors.
Remember Will Blackman?
Yeah.
On the
Did
Nimnik
you see
Outdoor
his
Show.
debut in analyst for
Chef
Game Day
Mike,
Live?
Captain Kevin, and Captain
Nice.
Kirk.
Oh, cool.
This Saturday morning from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes.
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
On 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
You ladies get to enjoy summer songs. That's what I try to do.
How is it? Why is this a summer song?
It's Summer of '69.
Oh,
That's what it's called.
I have to sing it in my head in order to get there. I'm not there yet.
This is after the Boys of Summer are gone.
Yes.
By Don Henley.
That's right.
Okay,
Sorry.
there it goes.
Yes, Summer
Okay.
69
I was like, wait.
on the
It's on the list.
Yeah.
Don't you worry, I got you covered.
Thank you. But I have many.
I love this song.
I was, and I told you, Lauren, I was like, maybe I should just play Donna Summer songs because that would be funny. But then I'm like, they all sound the same,
That's all right.
so you wouldn't be able to
Get
tell
it?
the
Because
difference.
I love
Donna
that it's
in
themed.
summer.
Donna
Donna in summer.
And I know Lauren Brooks loves themed.
I do. I love
Themed
everything.
things.
I should have been in a sorority for that reason only, because everything was themed in sorority. But I could not have been in a sorority for any other of the reasons.
So there's 7 teams right now that are 2-0, and the Jaguars are one of them,
Got that right.
which is
The best one of
fantastic.
them.
So you posed the question to us: are we seeing a changing of the guard? I mean, you mentioned the AFC, but I would mention basically the whole NFL, especially because of where Pittsburgh is. Which anybody mad? No, raise a hand. No, it's fantastic that they're 0-1-1. Thank you. That's fantastic. I enjoy that. So, do you think this is a changing of the guards for the AFC?
I think it's too early to tell.
Way too early to tell.
Week 2, for week 2, yes, right? I mean, it's easy. This is kind of the trap we fall into. We try to crown. Well, hell, we try to make Super Bowl predictions before the season even starts, and injuries and trades and all these things can play into what ends up happening at the end of those 16 weeks and the playoffs, of course. So I'd say for the sake of week 2, yeah, I mean the power rankings, if that's something you buy into, they are number 1 right now. But it's such a long season. There's so many things that can happen, just as I mentioned before. So I'm not willing to say there's anything that has changed outside of the fact that the Jaguars remain undefeated, and they'll wait for Tennessee to come to town on Sunday.
Yeah, because since 2002, the Steelers or the Patriots have appeared in 11 out of 17 Super Bowls. There's no way that we can sort of crown the Jaguars as they are the dogs on top now, week 2. But as far as like for the foreseeable future, that remains to be determined. You got to win consistently. You got to win each and every week, year after year, in order to be, I think, crowned anything.
And the reason I'm kind of thinking along these lines, and I think there is a changing of the guard going on, is you've got messes of situations right now with the Steelers. Le'Veon Bell is obviously planning on sitting out, at least from the way it looks right now, for 10 weeks. Ben Roethlisberger, this could be his last season there. And Antonio Brown's tweeting yesterday, then trade me, to someone who was critiquing him and criticizing him about the fact that Big Ben is really the reason that he's good, which I don't agree with whatsoever. But you've got an unhappy Antonio Brown, and if any of y'all read that story last week, that long form story on AB, I think he's got some internal stuff going on. So the Steelers, I think, especially too, the fan base hates the coach, and I always feel like there's friction there. So that's
a lot of drama.
Yeah, and I mean the Jaguars last year torched the Steelers in Game 1. And then the rematch in the game up in Pittsburgh, the Jaguars didn't. They got out to a really early lead thanks to Leonard Fournette, and then the Steelers clawed back. But still, the Jaguars dominated that game for the most part. When it comes to the Patriots, I think the Jaguars were the better team in January, and the Jaguars were absolutely the better team on Sunday. You've got a guy in Tom Brady who could also be retiring in the near future, even though he says he'd like to play longer. And then I'm just not sure what else you've got around him. There is Gronk, of course, one of the best tight ends ever, but Gronk is injured a lot, and he doesn't typically make it through the 16-game season. Then you've got, I think, what is now a defense that's not very good, and you've got a team that has made 28 roster moves just at the wide receiver position, to the point where they're picking up Josh Gordon, who has had massive issues. That, to me, shows you that they don't like what they have. I mean, they just picked up Corey Coleman last week, and then released him in order to get Josh Gordon. I think you've got sticky situations both in Pittsburgh and in New England, and the Jaguars, at least as of now, besides a couple injuries, have none of that going on. So I think we are starting to see Jacksonville take over as the top team in the AFC.
I think I personally believe in order for something as dramatic, if you will, as changing of the guard, and can we qualify that as the team to beat in the AFC? Is that what we're giving that title?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need more than...
And the team that's going to be dominant in the next 3 years.
Yeah, I need more than 2 weeks. I probably need consistency more than... They did some good things toward the end of last year. Nobody's debating that. And they fell short in the AFC Championship game. If they won that and gone to the Super Bowl, maybe we're having a little bit different conversation of that today. You're right. The pieces are in play for them to have more success in the future and build off the success that they have. But I believe in order to take over as the top dog, as the team that people look to and go, well, by default, I'm going to go with fill in the blank, the Jags as the AFC champion when I'm filling out my preseason predictions. They have to be consistently good. And again, last year things ended not the way they wanted, but they made it as far as the AFC Championship game. Here in week 2, they're 2-0, and they beat the mighty Patriots coming to town. But I need the rest of the year to turn out well, and you have to do something past what you did last year. Falling short in an AFC Championship game is not going to be enough. You have to take it a step further in order for people for that guard to change, because these are two teams that have been dominant for a long time, especially with the Patriots. I mean, people default to them, and once Brady's gone, maybe that conversation changes. But until that happens, where Jacksonville takes it a step further, I still think it's a bit a ways to go. And
Le'Veon Bell missed 4 games. He missed the first 4 games last season. And Steelers historically they're slow as far as to get started as the season gets going. And then the Patriots themselves, I said this stat last week that Bill Belichick loses 66%, or his winning percentage is 66% in the month of September versus 83% in the month of December.
Yeah,
so he's
experimenting.
Back-to-back.
I was looking at their stats the other day. They don't lose back-to-back regular season games. I mean, they just over the span, rare. It is very rare. It's happened like since Brady got there, which is he took over starting in, what was it, 2001? Was that his first season? I mean, it's been like a handful of years that they've had regular season, back-to-back regular season.
I mean, it's great. It's great that you got this big win, but you got to be able to get this win in December and January. That's where it matters most. Sure. And real quick, Josh Gordon, do you think he finishes the season with the Patriots?
I don't know.
How about does he finish the season anywhere?
Yeah. This was a head slapper to me.
I thought it was a low risk situation.
It is. There's no risk, because if he doesn't
play,
play,
like $700,000 this year,
and if he doesn't play 10 games, they get a pick back.
Well, and if he screws up, they have no problem.
Right.
Done. Move on, next person.
Right. It's nothing, but
they do need help, though.
They take head cases.
They need help on defense too, but
they take head cases, and either some work out. Like Corey Dillon was a massive head case, and that had a lot of red flags back in the day coming out of Cincinnati, but he worked out, and it worked. And you could say Randy Moss was a head case, but Randy Moss he's a Hall of Famer. He had so much talent.
He was a Hall of Famer before he went to the Patriots.
But you have to be, from what we've heard from Brady, wide receiver position is the hardest position for them to learn because of how extensive the playbook is for them. So you have to be smart and willing to work hard.
And that's been the biggest gripe against Josh Gordon is that you don't know if he loves football.
Right. So I have no idea. This is ridiculous. But for me, changing the guard, I say they're neck and neck with Kansas City right now, because that Kansas City offense is...
Yeah, but their defense sucks.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's why I think they're neck and neck, because I'll take... It's not that I won't take what just showed up on Sunday.
You could combine the two and have the perfect team.
Yes, but I mean, with Pat Mahomes, with how young he is and fresh, and I mean, it's sick what his stats are for the first 2 games. So that, which is exciting to watch, but then Jags defense, which is so exciting. So I think right now they're neck and neck with the 2 best.
I think Mahomes is going to come back down to earth after teams get some tape on him. It's going to be similar to Deshaun Watson,
right?
Where teams got some tape on him and he's not looking so good this year.
I'm kind of with you on that. I'll be amazed if he's able to keep up this kind of pace. I mean, the numbers they were throwing. I mean, he's got 10 touchdowns through 2 games.
Well, that's why in a few weeks it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
that October 7th matchup is going to be fun.
There's rumors that they're going to flex that game.
They should. If things keep up, that will be fun.
They may not, because Kansas City has a Monday night game right around there, but they won't have to make that determination just yet. Donna, as far as the Patriots go, do you think the trajectory is still going to be up? Do you still think by December we're talking about the Patriots?
Yeah, I'm not worried.
Championship game. You're not at all.
No, they've started like this for the past how many years?
They figure it out.
This is what they do.
Last week we talked about how I think the Jaguars improved since January, since that AFC Championship game, and I don't think the Patriots improved. In fact, I think they got worse. And I understand that Trey
You're right.
Flowers, that Trey Flowers was out for most of the game against the Jags, but the Jags also were without their star running back and their left tackle for the majority of the game, and obviously had already lost Marquise Lee for the whole season. So I don't see how, if I was a fan, I would not look confidently at the remainder of the season. I'd be nervous.
Nah, as a fan, we're used to. It's funny because you can sit there and say how spoiled and everything, but we're used to a crap show that shows up like this, like it showed up in Kansas City a few years ago. We're like, why do you suck so
Brady
bad?
and Belichick.
And then all of a sudden you turn around and you be like, see, why do we? There's that. Don't question and don't worry. Everything will get fixed. And then eventually things are going to be crap forever. And I know that'll happen again once there's no more Brady or once there's no more Belichick. Which, by the way, I did notice that. And I waited, and I was laughing when someone posted the video on, because I'm like, I wonder if anybody noticed that, because I saw once Brady threw his final practice ball or whatever, and he walked into the end zone and he fist bumped the ref. I was like,
Yes.
I noticed that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder how many people noticed that.
Somebody posted on it. That's what I saw.
Because I saw it happen. I was like,
you saw it live.
Yeah, I'm like, Mom. Like,
Well,
people are going to be
surprisingly, the
talking.
call went the Jaguars' way when it came to the challenge. That I was shocked. It's funny. We sit next to Hayes in the press box, and he goes, "If Doug Marrone wins this challenge, I'll be his butler for a week." And I'm not really thinking about it, thinking, yeah, he's not going to win this challenge. You almost never do on the down and distance, or at least the distance. And then all of a sudden, Marrone wins the call, and then I was like, "Well, Hayes, are you going to tell Marrone? I'm going to tell him." No, just kidding. All right, we'll get to the Titans game a little bit later, but real quick from Lauren, not that it can be real quick, but some advice for Donna going from one baby to two and having a boy going to a girl.
Sure. Okay. This is honest to God how I felt when I was pregnant with my first son. Or I'm sorry, when I was pregnant with my second after having just one for 3 years by himself. And I don't know if you ever felt this way, but I had friends that I kind of bounced this off of. It's a weird feeling because you love your first so much. You think to yourself, do I have enough, this is going to sound like a Hallmark commercial, but do I have enough love for both of them? And I don't know if you ever even thought about that, but I remember thinking like, man, I really love number one. Can I really love number two, the second kid, as much as I love? First of all, you will. Again, you may not have even thought twice about it, but you will. Going from boy to girl is cool. If you've always wanted a girl and you like the hair bows and the things and oh boy we get to do all that, then it'll be right up your alley. Even if you're not super girly, I'm not super girly, but the idea of getting to have both. Like I always thought in the perfect world when I thought about having kids, I thought if I could have a boy and a girl, how cool is that? Because you get to experience both things. So that's also awesome. You'll find out. I don't know how easy or difficult your first baby was. Easy.
Mm-hmm.
This one might
Very easy.
This one might be really hard for you.
I know. I know.
But I will say this: the first one was super hard. Was an awesome, easy toddler, and has probably went through more easier times growing up. The second one was a breeze. She was super easy. The labor was easy. She was an easy baby. There was no screaming. There was no crying. She did all the things. And then when she hit like 1.5, she tried to ruin my life. So, so it may be opposite. It may be the same. But you'll find at times guilt about not giving your son enough because you've got this new. It's a balance.
Which
right?
we had that conversation.
It's hard
every day. And
it's hard. But
the tears came today. And
but
I'm like,
if you've got some sort of help, I know your husband travels some, and that makes it more difficult. If you've got people nearby, I always just say this to any pregnant person out there, any new parent. And you don't necessarily have to have know this because you've been there before, because you're second round. But if you feel like something's not right inside of you because you're just overwhelmed, talk to somebody. Mm-hmm. Don't feel ashamed about it. Don't feel like you're less of a mom or less of a woman. You talk to anybody because motherhood is not easy. There's really nothing easy about it. And outside of that, make sure the wine fridge is always stocked.
Donna's more of
my rum cabinet.
I'm not wine either, but I didn't want to make assumptions like. Make sure you got plenty of vodka because you're going to need it.
I got the rum sitting there.
The rum is ready? Is that going to be your first drink?
Yeah.
Now, will that happen in the hospital or no?
No.
All right.
They're going to have to give me...
I never did that either. I didn't. When I got home, I mean, there's the whole, like...
breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to...
and being on medication.
And all,
they're going to have to give me pain pills.
Oh, yeah, you're having, like, major surgery.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway. But you'll handle it just fine.
Just gives a little kick.
You might find that you have even more energy just because you're like, oh, I've done this before, and you're a little more relaxed about what
Well, that's
to
why I'm
expect in having a
surprised. I'm
baby.
here. I went to the game.
No,
I
I
was
worked
fine.
out.
I'm
I
like,
worked out the day before I had my second kid. Everybody's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like sit at home and just
Right.
wait for everything? Like,
I
no.
feel fine.
Yeah.
Well, we will.
You'll be a champ.
We will give you a formal goodbye before the
Thanks.
end of the show. But
I'm
certainly-
hoping that in the OR, maybe I can be like, hey, why don't you put on 10-10 for me so I can just sit here and listen since I'm just going to sit here.
Well, and if you have a good doctor, then they'll say absolutely. 'Cause
Right.
They already listened.
And then your
Exactly.
C-section, I didn't have one, but I know people who did. It's like the fastest thing ever.
That's what they have said. Yeah.
You won't-
Just the
it's like this,
recovery's
this,
longer,
that,
but
right,
yeah.
But the actual
Fast, like an
Okay.
hour. Like what
No,
are you talking
like
about?
Yeah.
no, I'm talking like once they rolled you back there and get you ready to go, it's like 15 minutes, baby.
Are you
Sit
awake
cow.
during
Oh
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
They numb you from the waist down,
Yeah.
and they put a sheet up so you can't see anything, and they hold the baby up, and they whatever, and they
Yay.
bring them to you, and you're done. They roll you back to recovery.
Yep.
Pretty
Yeah.
good. All right, when we come back, we're going to check in with Ashlyn Sullivan for a dose of Daly's Place, and also, of course, talk about that Jaguars-Patriots victory. That's all next. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
After the game, join Hacker and
Bold City.
Okay, thanks. And I reminded her we'd be calling her this break set. Thank you.
Okay, I need. Are you?
5 seconds.
Football season means the busiest time of the year, so make sure you take a little time out to get your body right. Lauren Brooks here for Bold City Health, and I can't say enough good things about Dr. Aaron, Dr. April, and the entire staff there. If you have neck or back pain or other nagging health issues, you will want to head to Bold City Health so they can take an x-ray and determine if your spine is out of alignment. Call Bold City Health today at 379-4621 or find them online at boldcitychiropractic.com. They are so much more than just a chiropractor. They will help you achieve overall maximum health. Check out the free seminar, Lasting Immunity Prevention is Powerful, on Saturday, September 22nd. That's this Saturday at Journey Church at 9 a.m. How about a free dinner? This coming Monday, September 24th, is the monthly community dinner at South Kitchen and Spirits at 6 o'clock. To register, head to boldcitychiropractic.com. Again, that's boldcitychiropractic.com. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm getting my tubes out too. I'm like, no, I'm done. Thank you.
Now, does
Oh,
that
nice.
happen at the same time as the C-section, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it wouldn't
that.
if I had the regular delivery.
That's what I thought.
Are
Yeah.
they tying them or taking them out?
They take them out now.
Do they really?
Because
Yeah,
they said it
'cause it
lessens
helps
the risk of
Ovarian cancer,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Are they taking your ovaries too, or just the
No,
tubes? Okay.
just tubes.
Jesus.
So
Yeah. Are they? Yeah. Okay.
I'm like, yeah, I don't need
No,
any
because you don't have
surprises.
partial hip. Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. Oh, Ashlyn, and I probably should have waited or not asked this till like what she does. What does she do with Daly's? Tell me the connection with Daly's Place.
Well, so the Jaguars
Can
are
I?
marketing
I just-
for.
It goes like right over Lauren's eyes. I feel weird talking to her.
Okay,
It's like
So,
a bar
so
over her
they
face.
You got me for one more night, that's it.
No worries.
Not like
Oh,
staff it, but
oh,
they
okay.
When are you coming
handle the business side.
I don't
of
know
things.
yet.
Her job requires
Depends.
her to.
Yeah.
We'll see how
It's
it goes.
twofold.
It's not
Take
really
all the time
much
you
of
need.
her job. It just because they have this platform.
I mean, she,
Okay,
I
let
can't.
her promote.
they just have her promote.
Got it,
I don't
okay.
think she.
She
Well, it doesn't
works
really
for
matter.
Daly's Place or does anything
She-
with it.
'cause
Right.
TJ will
They
be
just say, hey, when you
home.
go in there, make sure you talk about.
Right.
Got
Somebody
it.
else used to come on, and then it was like, well, you know what? We want to promote Ashlyn to talk Jaguars football, and while she's there, yes, also get
Got
into
it.
Daly's Place, which it seems like we're going like fewer and fewer things to discuss.
Yeah.
It kind of tails off, but we can obviously then extend the part that we talk about Jaguars-Patriots, because I feel like we still haven't even gotten into the game itself that
Right.
much. So, by all means, ask as many questions
Okay.
as we want. And then, JJ, we'll do the injury update at the end of this segment. Pretty please.
And I'm going to go off of whatever currently stands out right now, according to the website.
Yeah, because they
Okay.
won't put one out until tomorrow,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Okay.
My C-section is scheduled for Thursday. Period. I will keep Michelle updated. Can I write on this?
What a fucking pussy.
Period. Thank you. Have a good next few weeks.
mean, if you want, you could probably just, go off of that one.
Yeah, this doesn't include, I just don't want to forget Cam Robinson's ACL, because that's not on here,
Gotcha.
of course.
Okay, yeah.
There.
I'm trying to remember if there was anything else that happened in this game.
Now, Calais got poked in the eye.
Right.
Thank God it was just that. And then, of course, Fournette, we're still kind of waiting.
Yeah. Jaguars wide receiver Dante Moncrief left in the third quarter with a knee
Yeah,
injury,
what
but he
happened?
came back in.
I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that.
He came back in. He was remember he hobbled off
that's right.
towards us
Yeah.
off the field.
But didn't you said he came back into
He came
the
back
game?
in, yeah.
Okay, so
You got Tammy's number, right?
yes, and I texted her and I got her on something I needed to ask her about.
She's
By that woman named Tam.
Tammy makes life easy.
Ashlyn, how are you? I'm good. Ready?
Let's see. Daly's place.
Did anybody first of all, does anybody know what Reddit is?
Yes.
What is that?
It's basically the front page of the internet. You're talking about Blake Bortles AMA?
Yeah. Did you watch any of it?
No, I went through like a few of the comments.
Oh, okay.
What's it called? It's Ask Me Anything.
Okay, so he stands there and people type in questions to ask and he answers them live? Is that what
Sometimes they post questions beforehand.
Okay.
And it gives the team, the PR team or
So
whoever.
is it a website? Is it an app?
It's a website.
Okay.
It's where stories are submitted and people upvote or downvote, and you can tell what's the most. And you subscribe to different subreddits. Like there's a Jaguars one, there's an NFL one, there's a comic book one. Like
wow. Okay.
And you subscribe to your interests, and then you have your front page, and it's all the top stories
Based
at
on your
that time,
preferences.
based off upvotes too. So it's like if you have like shitty content and you try to post it there, like you'll be just downvoted and it won't appear.
Okay.
Same thing with comments.
morons.
Like it's one of my favorite websites. It's called
Thank
like
you, sir.
the Twitter for smart people.
Huh.
Is basically what it's called. You don't have to deal with as many idiots.
You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes,
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Of course I love this song. I
you
love
would.
most songs by Kenny Chesney, but I really love this one. Of course, these songs that mention Summer are because Donna Murphy is going to have a little baby girl named Summer in now about 39 hours.
39 hours.
And counting. All right. We are going to welcome in Ashlyn Sullivan now. Ashlyn joins us every week for a dose of Daly's Place and to talk some Jaguars, football from Jaguars.com. Hello, Ashlyn. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We are fantastic, thanks. And really, anytime someone asks me, how are you this week, I just reply with 2-0. That's all I need to say.
Undefeated.
Feels good, that's for sure.
It certainly does. All right, before we get to the actual football, let's talk a little bit about Daly's Place. I was part of the kickoff concert weekend. How did it go overall?
It was really, really well. I know you went to the country concert, and that was by far the most successful, the most positive. But as a whole, we got really good response on just packing Daly's Place during a football weekend. The idea seemed to really work, and it got people even more excited for the game and for the weekend. So I think you're definitely going to try to pack Daly's Place for game day weekends. It seemed to work out really well.
It was honestly so much fun. Concert Thursday night, game on Sunday, and then I know upcoming you've got Troy Sivan. How's that going to go on this coming Wednesday?
Yeah, September 26th for his Bloom Tour. Tickets are still available. We're seeing more of a younger crowd with Troy Sivan, but tickets are still available for that. And then your next Sunday show, at least when you're looking for a football game, is going to be Darius Rucker, September 30th, and that's at 7:30 during Jets weekend.
Ashlyn, how did the combination of Sting and Shaggy turn out?
I saw clips of it, and I was a little concerned at first. I was like, how is this going to mesh? But it was really cool how they collaborated all of their hits together. I'm really curious. I kind of want to ask, how did they come about and think, let's tour together, let's combine this and see how this works. So I've been researching, trying to find that answer, so I'll report back.
Ashlyn, it was so hot. so hot on Sunday. But they did announce that if you need to, am I correct, you can go into Daly's Place to get relief and watch the game on the screen there. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's been a major point we've been talking about, at least the PR department this week, is that there were so many people that complained how hot it was. I mean, it was the hottest game recorded in Jaguars history on Sunday. So yes, Daly's Place is open throughout. Sorry about that. Daly's Place is open throughout the entire game. So you can get some shade there, and they're also going to show the game broadcast on the Daly's Place screen, so you're not missing out on anything. And then in the fan entertainment zone, JTA is providing air-conditioned buses. So if you're really feeling the heat, you can go get in an air-conditioned bus or go get some shade. So yeah, they're definitely telling people to take precautionary measures, stay hydrated, and if you're not feeling well, to go find one, because I know that everyone felt the heat on Sunday.
I definitely checked out that JTA bus, and it was a lifesaver on the way into the stadium. Ashley, how has the mood in the locker room been this time of the year versus last time, or last year?
Coming off just this major win over the Patriots, I was really impressed with the team because obviously it was a huge win, and everyone was so excited, and I saw them celebrate for about 10 minutes. Everyone was doing cartwheels. I saw Miles Jack and Marcel Darius doing cartwheels in the middle of the locker room. That was funny to see. But it really, as soon as we started the post-game interviews, it completely switched to, yes, this is great, this is fantastic, we beat the Patriots. However, the guys that are coming into our stadium next week beat us twice last year. So it automatically shifted into preparing for the Titans, which is really impressive because I thought this team was going to be hung up on this huge win, and all the fans are going to be as well, but they've really already focused on Tennessee, which is pretty impressive.
Well, and there were so many different parts of Sunday's game that were exciting if you're a Jaguars fan. The defense obviously was able to shut down Tom Brady and the offense for most of the game, but the offense certainly responded even without Jaguars running back Leonard Fournette. What do you expect against the Titans this Sunday?
I think the biggest thing that stood out for me offensively was Nathaniel Hackett's play calling. I mean, taking shots downfield, and that was the biggest complaint against the AFC Championship game, was that they played too conservative, and they didn't call enough downfield passes and really play aggressively, and that completely changed, I thought, last week. So depending on what you see, if Leonard Fournette is going to play or not, I think Nathaniel Hackett has found that groove with that aggressive play calling, and even though some passes were dropped that should have been caught, just bombing it downfield and getting the defense taken up, I think you're going to see a lot more of that.
The preparation for the Titans, as you mentioned, everybody's kind of shift their focus to that. We got an email today from the Jaguars, and they're encouraging people to listen. The last week was a huge week, but come out and make sure that this first divisional game against the Titans is equally as packed. They want people to come out. There's some tickets available, right, still, Ashlyn?
There are. Last I was told, there's still 5,000 tickets available, and we have been getting some emails on drive time about, wow, after the Patriots game, I'm so looking forward to the Steelers. I can't wait for the next big game. And this locker room is like, wait a second, this is the AFC South. We're opening up division play.
Yeah.
These guys beat us twice. This is our rival. So fans should take the approach that we need you here next week, not Pittsburgh. It was great to have that atmosphere against the Patriots, but just because this isn't some big-time Pittsburgh versus Patriots or whatever game, this is the AFC South, and we need you here Sunday. So I think fans are getting a little jumbled about the message, but the locker room is saying, this is the AFC South, and we should take this game seriously.
And you can get them for as low as or as cheap as $40, right?
Yeah, $39.50 I was told. So no excuses for those.
You got that right. And for any fans who remember quarterback Blaine Gabbert playing for the Jaguars, this is a game that you really might want to go to if you weren't thrilled with his performances a few years ago.
Yes, absolutely. I know Marcus Mariota is still questionable with the elbow, but yeah, we've been talking about it all week. It's to see Blaine Gabbert's arrival back to Jacksonville. You'll just want to see that in itself.
Who's licking at the chops to shove him into the ground, to sack him? Anybody on the defense that's ready?
Everyone on that defensive line, to be honest. They want to sack every quarterback, but Blaine Gabbert,
him especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, he beat them last year, so absolutely. All right, Ashlyn, awesome. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
No problem. I'll see you guys soon.
Absolutely. We will see you next Tuesday or see you Sunday, depending on where you are. I know I saw her walking around down in the field, and she got that great video after the game of Marcel Darius picking up Nathaniel Hackett and almost shaking him. And I thought it was funny, for half a second thinking, like, don't hurt him, please. Like, I know he doesn't have to play or anything, but we need that man's genius. Don't shake him a little too hard there.
It's probably a huge weight off of his shoulders, too.
Yeah, after all the offseason criticism of the Jaguars getting too conservative in the second half of that AFC Championship game and the loss that prevented them from going to the Super Bowl and then coming out and just going balls.
They were still throwing with a minute and a half left. It was awesome.
Absolutely. All right, JJ, take it away. Well done, JJ. If you want to win tonight's Peterbrook Chocolate Heel, text into the 1010XL text line, driven by Duval Ford, 641-1010. And of course, you know the drill. Either name the artist or the name of the song, and you will win that Peterbrook Chocolate Heel. Lauren, do you have a little bit of an injury update for us?
The personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah present this injury update. Farah and Farah, protecting you and your family since 1979.
All right, the major news to come out of Sunday's matchup with the Patriots was, of course, Cam Robinson out with the remainder of the season with a torn ACL. So we know that one for sure won't change, guys, unfortunately, between now and when the actual report comes out.
Bummer.
Beginning tomorrow. We did see Calais Campbell, who was questionable for Sunday's game. He obviously played and at one point went down, and I know everybody held their breath because the knee was listed for his reason to be questionable. Thank God it was just the eye, because he was poked in the eye in that game. Leonard Fournette continues to be a question. We heard Doug Marrone say that you basically test it. One day it's good, one day it maybe isn't as good, and you just kind of play it. And that's exactly what that annoying, pesky little hamstring injury is about. It is it's not career ending, it's not season ending, but it is something that's annoying, and it prevents guys from being able to do what they need to do and be explosive and make cuts and things like that. Outside of that, we're kind of keeping an eye on Leonard Fournette. There's a few guys from last week who did not play as much, but as far as that goes, we just wait to see really what happens with Leonard Fournette.
Well, there we go. Well done, Lauren. Let's take a little bit of a closer look at that Jaguars-Titans matchup. Everybody knows the Jaguars were swept by the Titans last season. The first game was at home, and it mattered. The second game, by that point, didn't really matter for the Jaguars. They were going to go ahead and win the AFC South. So I don't put as much credence into that game. But certainly the Titans and the Jaguars had a really close first half of that first game in Jacksonville. And then the Titans all of a sudden destroyed this defense in a game that we really didn't see anything like that again until very late in the season when the Jaguars played the 49ers. So in looking at the Titans, we just talked about how Marcus Mariota has that elbow injury. He may or may not go. Head coach Mike Vrabel said that he's hopeful, but that Gabbert certainly is likely to start at this point in time. Blythe, do you think there will be a cascade of boos when Gabbert comes out?
Yes, I will. This will probably be the most I have booed in my entire life when that man takes the field. And I mean this when I say it, and I don't mean injury on anyone, but I really hope that they shove him into the ground repeatedly over and over. I hope it's a long day for him. I hope that light blue uniform is covered in grass stains, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart.
And explain to Lauren, who wasn't here when Gabbert was here, why you dislike him.
He's a jerk. Number one, reporter-wise, media-wise, fan-wise, he's just one of the biggest jerks in all of football. He was trash on the field. He was trash off the field. No respect for him whatsoever. If he was on fire, I wouldn't spit on him.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's going to be.
No, I knew there was.
I think it is going to be a long day for Gabbert, just because. So we used to call it the cauldron of fire, because the moment that guys would start to get near him, he would shrink and he would either fall down or throw the ball backwards, or he wasn't a quarterback that, and he had a lot of issues going on. There was the lockout when he first got here. Then he had multiple different offensive coordinators, and I'm not giving him any excuses.
He'll take all those excuses and he'll use them.
Sure,
though. That's
just
the thing.
explaining, why he may have had some issues. He shouldn't have started right away. But all that to the side, the Titans, they do have Jarrell Casey, who talked a lot of trash about Blake Bortles. I think actually called him trash last year on the defensive line. And they've got some pieces at running back. Now they have former Patriots running back Deion Lewis to go along with Derrick Henry out of Yulee. But I don't know that the Titans are really any good.
They play up to us, though. That's the thing. Like, it is a divisional matchup, so there's that extra bit of hatred. It does make me worry about this game a little bit. The last time we beat the Titans was December 2016, so it's been a long time since we wiped the floor with them. But I really think that we're going to do that this week, and I think it's going to be a double-digit lead.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. if the Jaguars
and if it's not,
get the lead at
I will be
halftime,
furious.
yeah, if the Jaguars get the lead at halftime, we've pretty much learned the Jaguars are going to win the football game. The only time that I can remember that happening where the Jaguars lost was that AFC Championship game, which I am, by the way, ready to put that thing to bed. This 2018 season, now that the Patriots are in the rearview mirror, until the unless the Jaguars meet the Patriots in the AFC Championship, I'm done.
I'm over the Miles Jack wasn't down.
That was going to be my question.
I'm over.
I asked that on Monday on Midday Chalk. Jaguar fans, can we let it go now? Can Elsa come in the room and say let it go with Miles Jack wasn't down?
I'm sick of it.
Yeah, I think you heard it from one of the biggest Jaguar fans ever. She says, let it go.
Let it go. I mean, we beat them. We had their little quote-unquote revenge game. It's not really a revenge game until you beat them in the playoffs. A September win is not really a revenge game.
But we can stop saying Miles Jack wasn't down.
Yes, yes. I'm sick of it because it wasn't really about that. The ref blew the whistle too early. That's what happened in that particular play.
Yeah, right.
Like that's what. But that doesn't. It's not catchy. You can't put it on a T-shirt.
I think somebody did. Oh, the whistle.
Yeah, the ref blew the whistle too early. It's a little too much text for a T-shirt.
When we come back, we'll get it to Around the NFL and Take This Job and Shove It. That's all next. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
All pro.
You got it.
I really hope that Gabbert gets murdered.
This is pretty long. We got a while.
Say what?
I said this is pretty long.
Yeah, I'm ready whenever.
Blame. Do you still call him Blame Gabbert?
I remember his stupid little fist pump at the end of the 49ers game last year. And I wanted to kill him.
Last year, right?
Mm-hmm. I wanted to kill him.
That was an ugly game. I remember that.
He was doing the fist pumps, and he was so happy he beat his former team. It's like, you're a fucking joke.
10 seconds.
Tried really hard not to curse during that segment, too. I said, no, be calm, Blaine, be calm.
It is now the peak of hurricane season, so make sure your roof is ready by contacting my friends at All Pro Roofing and Consulting. Lauren Brooks here, and when it comes to hiring a roofer, you want one who won't require any upfront deposits and who is not going to sub out their crews. That's exactly what you'll find at All Pro Roofing and Consulting, and they have over 25 years of experience. If your roof is in need of repair or if you need a new roof, contact All Pro Roofing and Consulting today at allproroofingllc.com. It's a family-owned business and part of the Lloyd's family of businesses. So contact them today at allproroofingllc.com.
You sit there. Oh, sorry.
No,
you sit here. Can you actually hear out of this? Do you really? Maybe it's my headphone
adapter.
Because when I plug in,
try mine?
I just was curious because I plugged in just to this thing, so I wouldn't have to whatever. And it sounded horrible.
That's a splitter though, so I don't know.
It might be.
It could be your headphones, but see
headphones because they weren't perfectly in there.
It's very odd.
Oh yeah, damn, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you didn't have them in.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
If you need one
of these?
Yeah, there's lots in.
I
say my drawer because it's still my.
Didn't go to jail on Sunday.
Just ask Taylor tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I sit there for everything else, and I just plug. And when I'm there, I might get one though to keep in my desk.
Yeah.
So that when I sit there for
there's plenty
kickoff show. Okay.
They're in when you walk in, you're looking at the fridge.
Yes.
It's in either the drawer that's underneath the fridge or the drawer to the left of it.
Okay.
One of those. So.
Now I assume you don't have a scheduled time if and when you're coming back. Is it an if or is it a when? Or
when?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Sometime in November at least, because she has to be 6 weeks until I can take her to daycare.
Yeah.
So I at least have to wait until November, and then we'll see. Because I know mid-November is when we usually do the J Fund. So
what happens with that?
It's a wonderful day, and it's a hard day because of the people that come in. And, and the stories you hear.
Is it what's the J Fund? Who does it benefit?
Tom Coughlin.
No, I know, but what's
children with cancer?
Children with cancer.
So you get all these kids in here and talk.
It's a hard.
And some parents have lost their kid to cancer, and they come in and they speak about what they went through.
And we have all the shows with they're integrated in a
from
show.
6 a.m. to at least through our show. So 8 p.m. I don't know.
It might be through prime time now.
Yeah.
Is that Tuesday night? Is that what you said?
It's a whole day.
Yeah, it's a whole day.
That's what I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's on a Tuesday.
The Tuesday
Okay.
before Thanksgiving?
Yeah, usually.
It's like giving
Do you
Tuesday.
have a guest coming or on the phone?
She's coming in.
Next segment?
Yes, so you don't have to worry about doing anything.
Oh, I'm next. Forgot.
I don't know if
Okay.
she has my
Good to know, because that stuff
phone
is
number
like.
to call me.
It's a tough day. I mean, obviously it's for the best
That's
of
the
causes,
thing.
but it's just.
So those are some of the things. But before I had kids, I obviously like that's still sad no matter what. But like it's this whole different level because I know people who've kids. I mean, and you picture yourself in that. And you're oh my god. It's
Like some of the
worse.
kids are in here talking about
Yeah.
it.
No, I know. And you go. My kid for now is walking around healthy, and those kids will probably walk around healthy too, and they got freaking blindsided.
Yeah, we had
Terrible.
one guy last year who always was a listener and donated every year because so that's what we do is we ask for donations all the
Oh,
time,
it's
right?
a telephone. It's a
Yeah.
okay,
Radio,
got it.
yeah.
Okay.
And we try to hit certain goals, and like
Oh, you guys, the drill themselves raised that much money?
yeah,
Wow,
Yeah.
$35,000
yeah, we raised
just
over
the morning show?
$100,000.
Just the morning show?
Yeah, during the whole day we raised that much money.
Oh, but
Yes,
not just the drill.
just the drill raised that amount of money.
Yeah.
In that one day we raised over $100,000.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow.
the
That's
total day.
amazing.
So we had one guy who had donated for so many years for no reason other than just listening, and then his kid was diagnosed with cancer, so then he actually benefited from the J Fund that he had just donated to all that time, and he was like, I had no idea it would someday come where I was looking at it from the opposite side of the table, and so it was really, a good,
Oh,
he's like, I can tell you why you should donate, so it was,
Yeah.
that part was good. And he actually had one healthy kid, one kid affected with cancer, and the healthy one, they were both brothers, both boys, donated bone marrow to the sick one. And they were both here, and
oh, yeah.
I don't ever cry in front of the kids like that are here because
No, yeah.
you don't want
of
to,
course
but
you-
the parents who have lost kids, I can't. I cry every single time in front of them.
30 seconds.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're hurt and scared.
What do you say?
Just, he was just repeating
That's
the
my
commercial.
pickup line.
What did you say, JJ?
You're hurt and scared. Let me help you.
Does it work?
All the time.
It's like the hangover. You go to the funerals to find the.
I love that.
You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
on 1010 XL, 92.5 FM.
Welcome into Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes. My name is Blythe Brimleve, and join alongside Donna Murphy for her final show for a few weeks. And both Laurens for the night. And Donna, you were at the game on Sunday, Patriots game.
Mm-hmm.
You think Patriots fans are insecure?
I feel bad for the whoever you had to deal with, because I don't claim them as fans. True for me, and it will be the same for you. True fans, you have to be humble. You have to know where you came from. Like when it was the 18-0 season, I'm like, I'm not going to say anything before this Super Bowl because it could end up 18-1, and then it did, and you just sit there like, dang, So you just have to, like, obviously, if the ones that are smart are the ones that know the crap is gonna, hit the fan once the two main pieces leave.
Well, the reason I asked this is not just for the experience, the game day experience that I had, but this is never. I've been on Twitter for a decade, and I've talked a lot of crap about a lot of teams. You just heard me talk a lot of crap about Blaine Gabbert, but I have never, until this game, had fans create fake accounts in an attempt to troll me. So since on Monday, there were two different fans that hit my DMs, ignored them both. They're talking about the AFC Championship game, and then one of the same fans, created a fake account. As far as like it was the handle was Jaguars lose or blew a lead to the Patriots. I'm assuming these same fans found my Instagram, started commenting on a bunch of different photos. And then, as for the icing on the cake, another fan found my business phone number and called the business phone number and left a voicemail message talking about the AFC Championship game. And this has never happened to me as far as another fan base is concerned. And so it just got me thinking, like, are Patriots fans secretly insecure? Do they secretly fear that their dynasty is coming to an end and they're starting to resort to methods like this?
No, these few morons are spoiled imbeciles is what they are. They're the ones that don't remember what it was before Brady entered the realm. They're the ones that don't know anything other than, championship town. They don't. It's like they don't.
It's like
remember
one loss to the Jaguars broke them.
Yeah, I can't speak for these. I don't claim them. They are not ours. Get them away and go be somewhere else.
You don't hear about any kind of, horror stories of Patriots fans like this?
No.
Or maybe even to a greater extent?
I don't, but that's, nobody would complain to me about it just because I don't act this way. This isn't me. I absolutely love our own Mike Dempsey, and he's a Yankee fan, and him and I get along, because that's not how I act. I'm not going to sit here and throw crap in your face because I don't want it thrown back in mine. So I don't know what these morons are thinking. So I'm sorry you had to deal with those.
I was laughing at it. I said, wow, because after the Jaguars beat the Steelers last year, it's when Big Ben was questioning retirement, and it was like, oh, well, the Jaguars, losing to the Jaguars broke the Steelers. And then you saw a lot of fans losing their minds, a lot of Ravens fans losing their minds because the Jaguars stomped them in London. And then this was another situation. I said, wow, losing to the Jaguars, I feel like other fan bases just collectively want to throw themselves off a bridge anytime they lose to this team.
We have lots of bridges.
Yeah, right. And it almost seems like, and I mentioned this to my husband the next day. I go, it almost seems like a huge amount of lack of respect for Jacksonville. And I feel bad because of how, it was sad, how phenomenal, Pat Mahomes did that day, and as well as Ryan Fitzmagic and his post-conference. The press conference was freaking tastic.
He has to be the starting quarterback for the rest of the year.
Nothing beats that one. So I feel bad. I'm like, oh, man, it stinks because the Jags aren't going to get what they deserve after this win and after this performance. And so it seems like, and the Boston media, by the way, because I saw a lot of comments about that, they suck overall. They're awful. I don't like them at all. I never like them. I always rip them. They're horrible in press conferences. They ask the dumbest questions that they will never answer. So they're just a bunch of idiots themselves. So feel free to rip them all you want because I agree. They're all dumb.
What's the worst experience that you've ever had with a fan base?
I gotta say, it wasn't, I even went into old school MetLife Stadium with the Jets and Pats, and I went in my Patriot garb.
You ever come close to fighting another fan?
No, it was probably the only one here when the Jags, years ago when it was Patriots Jags, and when the Jags fan was just like, I have 3 rings too, I've been married 3 times. Like, you're an idiot. That was probably the worst thing ever said.
What about y'all? Have y'all ever had any bad experiences with the opposing fan base?
Bad? No, but I've certainly gotten into it verbally with people. I've never come close to fighting anybody.
But you've done it more at college, right?
Almost all college.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I attend Jaguars games as a fan, I'm not near the opposing fan base. I've been to soccer games, actually, like USA soccer games where the other country was mouthy and we had to,
see, that's just dangerous
stuff, right? Yeah, so
you shouldn't say anything.
But I'm never afraid if there's somebody loud near me. Like, I'm certainly never afraid to speak up or
does it get aggressive?
Like, and there was one time with a Georgia fan. It was a female Georgia fan, actually, and she was driving me insane. And she was wrong on a lot of the stuff, so that really got to me. But it never was like, hold me back. It's never like that. I can't misrepresent.
Hold my popcorn.
Put your hair up.
No,
take the earrings
off. Here, hold my watch.
I've never thought about having to take my earrings off, I guess, because I wear studs. But yeah, the hair up was probably already up.
collegiately speaking, Texas Tech has a pretty awful fan base.
Oh, my
football.
sister went there.
Sorry. Well, you ask her then. It is terrible. That was.
Saying you're terrible.
Oh.
She's amazing. Poor Lubbock.
Yeah, poor Lubbock.
There's nothing there.
That's also true.
Maybe that's why they're so pissed.
Also very much true, and their football team's not very good. Football, baseball, basketball, it doesn't matter. They lose their minds, and they're mean, and they are like just crazy insane. So, but again, it's probably because they're in Lubbock.
I think the only time I've ever come super close to fighting a fan was in Yankee Stadium, and it was early in the game. Red Sox were playing. They had an early lead, like 10-0 in the third inning, and there was a guy that was getting progressively drunk over and over again, and then he started saying "F you, F you," like, and he knew that we were from Florida. "F you, Florida, F you, Florida," like over. His friends had to separate him from us,
Yikes.
and my friend was like, "You need to sit on your hands," and I said, "Okay."
That's almost your fault, though. Don't go to Yankee Stadium.
Well, we took proper precautions. Like we didn't wear the gear on the subway at all. We were visiting New York, so we were going to a Red Sox Yankee game. We got inside Yankee Stadium and went into the bathrooms and changed into our clothes, the Red Sox shirts, in the bathroom. And then before we left the game, the Red Sox ended up winning. We changed out of it because we didn't want to get any fights on the subway because then you're just trapped. But yeah, it was.
I would never step foot in there.
I've been to both. I've been to old Yankee Stadium and new, both to see Red Sox games.
No.
And it was awesome. They won both games, so it was awesome. Well, from one crappy fan base, I guess, to another, the Bills have officially broke Vontae Davis.
That's so great.
Quit on Sunday in the middle of a game. And he made headlines because he was obviously at the team facility, and he quit on his teammates. He's declaring now that he's retired from the NFL. And I think he can still get his $5 million as far as a guaranteed money paycheck because he was on the opening day roster. But there were numerous fans and former players that were applauding his action of quitting in the middle of the game, saying, NFL owners, they treat you as a commodity. I'm paraphrasing here, but they treat you as a commodity. They'll cut you at any time. So if you ever feel like you're not 100% in it, don't get yourself hurt, and more importantly, don't get somebody else hurt. And so there were a lot of players or former players and fans that were applauding this move.
That surprises me.
Yeah, but the former first-round pick, he played 10 years in the league, Miami, Indy, and Buffalo. But my question is, if this is any other franchise but the Bills, do you think Davis makes this move?
Maybe Cleveland?
No, Cleveland's close.
Yeah, they're going to get a win.
They got things going in the right direction. Buffalo has nothing figured out.
Arizona, maybe. They're
Yeah.
like 1B to Buffalo is the worst right
Yeah.
now. Buffalo's a terrible place to live, though.
It's the worst city I've ever visited.
I mean, can the fan base finally look at Doug Marrone and be like, man, Doug Marrone, you were actually pretty smart for moving.
Absolutely.
I mean, can they finally
He got paid
admit
to quit.
that?
He got paid to quit and come to a better situation and move to Florida.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like, the best part about this was listening to the NFL Network afterwards, where it was Shannon Sharp, LT.
Yeah, what did
and
they
Dion.
say about it?
Did
they lose their minds?
Lost their minds. However, Dion was like, well, I would have called him as a teammate. I would have called him afterwards to been like, dude, because clearly you're not in your right mind, because no one has ever done this. So I want to know really what's going on in your mind. And Shannon Sharp was, oh, hell no. I would have beat his blank and blah, 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 blah. They were good. So it was great to see the debate and what would have been properly done. And Dion was the only one up there that said, no, I would have called because clearly he's not in his right mind. Something's wrong.
I think it's interesting, maybe alarming at times, anytime a player retires in the middle of a season, right? Because you wonder, man, are they hurt and they physically just can't go anymore? But we've never seen a guy at halftime be like, nah, I'm good. Walks off, puts his clothes on, takes his crap, heads out the door, and is like, you know what, I've decided I'm going to retire. And I think I'll be interested to see if he's actually done. Now, he's done with the Bills, right? But this, we've seen guys retire and then, you know, kind of get their oil checked and somebody goes, are you really retired or you just don't want to play for him?
I would believe it would be difficult for another team to see what he just did and be like, oh yeah, come on down.
Yeah,
Right.
well, but listen, guys get picked up on teams for doing worse things sometimes. So, but I mean, understand.
Josh Gordon.
I understand where you're coming from. There's this idea of like, dude, you can't just leave him middle of a game.
You know, it reminded me a lot of, and I had to look up his name, Barrett Robbins for the Raiders when when he went missing the day before the Super Bowl.
What?
Everybody's like, where's our
on
player?
drugs, he had like really bad mental, whatever going on.
So something obviously is not, you would think is not right.
Yeah, what knows how crappy the Bills are.
Right, that's I would think that the Bills are the only team that this would actually happen
His
to.
quote was that, like, these guys are fast, strong, like, I'm kind of done with this. Which, it's not popular to applaud someone for quitting on everyone else. That's the bad part. He's got teammates and stuff. But for, safety reasons, maybe you want to be like, you know what, maybe I don't need this. Maybe I should just walk away.
Yeah, well, you know what? Quit at the end of the game then. Or quit at halftime and stay on the sidelines with your teammates in street clothes and say, guys, I just can't physically compete anymore. Or do it like Paul Posluszny did it, which is the proper way to do it. Figure that out in the offseason and quit before your team needs you. That, I feel like is the best possible way to do it. All right, when we come back, we have a special guest joining us tonight, Robin Albanese from the Women's Board. She's going to join us to preview the Speaker Series heading to Jacksonville with the Florida Forum. That's all next, just in the Helmets and Heels, built by Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
Wins on Sunday required.
Have you guys ever taken calls on this show?
No. I mean, we've had like one.
I just was
sparingly.
curious.
Like, we had one,
always. I'm not proposing one over the other.
No, yeah.
I hear we get a couple a show, and I always hear JJ say they'll take calls.
We had one like an assistant coach one time who called in. Even when we were in the Jaguars-Patriots, it was a long time ago.
Oh,
but he was like really good, and maybe he was here. Either way.
Yeah,
I think it was on domestic violence or something. That was when the Ray Rice story broke, I think.
So maybe something like that. Do you want to share my microphone? Do you want to lead this segment? We just need a...
No, you.
Hi, how are you?
Robin Albany.
Yes, Lauren Brooks.
Nice to see you.
You've been with us before, right? Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, okay.
Hi, Blaine. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you, Robin.
Oh,
Okay, you're fine.
thank you.
No problem. Then Donna can just share it with me.
Oh, you already got it pulled up on the screen.
Donna's good like that. So how are you?
I'm good.
How's life been?
Excellent. Excellent. We're real excited about the lineup this year.
I love the Tony Dungy, obviously the sports connection for us. I love the
know.
Tony Dungy one.
But Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad.
That's true. I don't watch TV.
Malcolm in the middle for
sports,
me.
So I got,
That's where I first found out about him.
I got nothing.
I'm the other Lauren. I'm Lauren Rue.
Hey, Robin Albany.
Nice to meet you.
You know, it's funny because I didn't watch it when it first came on, but my family was like, you gotta watch the show, you gotta watch the show. So I watched the first one, and it's when he's in the RV in his underwear.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, God. And then I started, then it was fantastic. I mean, the acting on
That's a
that
show on my list that I know I need to watch, and it's one of those things you tell other people that you haven't seen it yet, and they just, what?
I know.
I'll get to it. I'll get to it.
Yeah,
it's
it's
over.
over. A few seasons, right? Okay.
Yeah. They're hoping for more, but.
So happy I only have a couple days left because I don't fit in that bathroom. That thing is way too.
You can share with me if you want to sit. I moved your purse for you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I always watch, not always, I try to always watch 60 Minutes.
Why? Who did they have on the other night? Oh, the lady that started that healthcare company with the blood test.
And I didn't get to see that one because I was still at the stadium.
What a scam.
I think I have seen something like that before, though.
What was the premise of the blood test?
She said she invented this little box with a little thing that would totally negate all, like going to Quest and LabCorp to get your blood taken.
You could do it at home.
Do it at home. Raised millions of dollars, and then it turns out they had the grandson of George Shultz worked there, and some other girl, and they finally they were all like biochemists, and they said this is not going to work, so they all quit, and now she's I guess she's going to jail.
Yeah.
Wow.
That may have been like an update since I've seen it because I didn't know about the jail part, but yeah.
You would collect your own blood?
Yeah, you just prick on your finger.
Pinprick, and then that was supposed to give you your lab results, and you like send it to them, and then they
And then all of a sudden she was like the next
result.
Jeff Betros. I mean, just
It was
all
supposed to be
over the
real
place.
cheap and
Hola.
stuff.
How are you? I'm good.
Right, do you want to start with the speaker series or the women's board, or what would your preference be?
Well, we have a new target, funding target this year.
Okay, so we can start with that.
We can start with that and then talk about the speakers. Yes, hopefully we won't use it, but it's we are expanding the neonatal unit
Oh, awesome.
up
That's
to
exciting.
75 beds,
Wow.
And what was it before?
like 30.
30. Okay, that's what I
That's
thought.
awesome.
1 minute.
Fully
Thank you, sir.
grown, fully good.
Well, and the other thing is the reason the women's board was started because Mrs. Calvert had twin granddaughters born.
And they can only save one of them,
Right,
right?
save one because they only had one incubator. So
Oh
after
my gosh.
this is, I think this is the 27th year, and the antique show's been going on 20 or 45 years, and it's kind of cool that it comes back full circle to the neonatal unit.
Absolutely.
Goodness.
So,
How do you choose which child this is?
well, that's
Yeah.
they tried, but you know,
Goodness.
you know,
So is that twin still alive today?
one of them is, yes.
Right, okay.
Yes.
And ma'am, when you talk, you're gonna want to move that
Oh.
mic pretty close to your mouth.
Oh, okay.
Just, yeah, adjust it however you want it.
Here, we'll move it down for you a little bit, and then
Okay.
there you go.
Do I need to wear these earpieces?
No.
Okay.
You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes,
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
One of the fun things we get to do here on Helmets and Heels is highlight different community initiatives. And we are super proud to be at least a small part of talking about Wolfson Children's Hospital and all the wonderful things that the Women's Board does for Wolfsons. So now we welcome in Robin Albanese to the show. Hi, Robin. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for joining us. And this is actually your second time joining
Yes.
us, right? So welcome back, really. You did such a fantastic job the first time. So let's start with why the Women's Board was created and how it helps Wolfson Children's Hospital.
Yes, we had a family in Jacksonville. Ellen Calvert was the grandmother, and her daughter, Ray Martin, was pregnant with twins. She went into early labor, and they could only save one of the babies because there was only one incubator. So Mrs. Calvert got 15 of her friends around to say, okay, never again. And that's how the Women's Board was started. And 47 years later, we're doing the Art and Antique Show, and then this is the 27th year of the Florida Forum.
Awesome. So let's get into the Florida Forum.
Okay.
I'm so excited about your three speakers. Who are they?
Well, we're very excited. On October 17th, we are bringing in Laura Logan, for those who remember, from 60 Minutes, and she's got an amazing story because she covered the Middle East, Afghanistan, and she was in a square, and they charged her, ripped all her clothes off, raped her, and held her captive. And she has gone on to be an incredible broadcaster, sharing her story about what's going on with women in the Middle East. Yeah,
Goodness.
it's very powerful. Very, very powerful.
And she will be here
On Wednesday,
October 17th at 7 o'clock.
Yes.
Perfect.
And who else joins her? Or is it just her?
It's just her.
Okay,
It's
okay.
just her.
And
yes.
then Monday, January 28th, Brian Cranston, the one you're really
Yes,
excited
for
about.
all those Breaking Bad and Malcolm in the Middle
Yeah.
fans. Brian Cranston will be here. We're so excited because it's hard to get an actor to come. We've tried in the past, but with their schedules, they would say, "Oh yeah, well, I'll come," and then all of a sudden they get a new job. Well, we get it, you know. So,
Millions on the line.
yeah, so we get it, and so we're very excited to hear what he has to say. And then, of course, on Wednesday, the 27th, Tony Dungy, who, for all the sports fans out there, you know, amazing coach, amazing player, and amazing public speaker, because he talks a lot about family and family issues. You know, his son committed suicide.
Right.
He's just a powerful speaker. So we're so excited, so excited.
This forum, and I'm sorry if you already mentioned this before, but for people who maybe are just turning on the program, the purpose of it, it's a fundraiser. How does the evening work?
Yes, what we do is we sell various levels of tickets, and of course we have the big sponsors, Wells Fargo, Florida Blue, Landstar, and then people can buy tickets at varying prices. And if you buy a certain level, you can come after he speaks or she speaks to a reception and a photo op. Mm-hmm. And so all those monies go to Wolfson's Children's Hospital. The one thing we try very hard to do is get everything underwritten or sponsored. And so we're able to hand a check. Like last year, they handed a check to Wolfson's for the last segment of the Surgery Center Distinction for $800,000.
Wow.
Yes.
So it really goes directly to the
Directly to the hospital. We just really try to get everything donated, and just the people, I mean, everybody's either had a sick child or knows someone that's been at Wolfson, so we have a lot of wonderful support in the community.
Outside of the speakers, what's different from this year's event versus previous events?
Well, we try, it's hard because the speakers, I think people don't realize that we ask a lot of people to speak, but it's all about timing and cost. And so we don't always get, the one person we really like, but we try to pull from every community, whether it's sports, whether it's the broadcasting, acting, political. We've had everyone from Richard Branson to Michael J. Fox, who was unbelievable.
I'm sure.
My year, of course, we had Tim Tebow, which people loved. And so we just really try to get a cross section. So, and that hopefully people are interested to hear what they have to say.
Well, and certainly right now, I think you've got a great mix. You've got a little sports, certainly for our audience, but you've also got kind of the political sector, the news sector.
Yeah, the media.
And then you've got kind of mainstream media and entertainment, right? So people, no matter what you're interested in, are probably going to have someone that they're interested in hearing.
That's what we hope.
Certainly. And by the way, you can head to Women's Board WolfsonChildren'sHospital.com, and then there's a link for tickets. That's Women's Board WolfsonChildren'sHospital.com. And for people who don't know, Wolfson is a private hospital that turns no one away, regardless of their financial ability.
Yes, and it has grown so much that we now treat children in South Georgia as far south as Daytona. And because it's such a phenomenal facility. And if anybody ever has a chance to go in there and take the tour, it is unbelievable, the facility. It's great.
And don't a lot of Jaguars players come through and kind of visit with the kids there?
Oh yes, we have the Jaguar Hall where they've got all the Jaguars running down the hallway, and so that they come and visit a lot. And then we also have Timmy's room, which is Tim Tebow's room, and he comes in a lot. He just calls our director and says, "No media. I'm just going to see the kids today."
Oh, that's awesome.
And all of a sudden he'll walk into some kid's room. So it's really cool. And the nice thing is, with like 90% of our speakers, they will go on a hospital tour before they speak, so they see exactly what we're doing.
The money is So when you're asking people for money and helping to donate, it's nice to be able to see exactly what is needed, where the funds would go. I think you said this off air. But you talked about the amount of beds you started with and kind of where you are now. Fill us in on that.
Right, because Wolfson is under such demand that the original neonatal unit had like 35 beds, and now they're trying to do between 75 and 90, depending on the space, because for every bed, there's probably 4 babies that need it. And they also do the giraffe beds that for the incubators, that come in, and because the child can't really be it's just fascinating what they have there.
And that's a new funding goal for you guys, right?
Yeah, the neonatal unit, yes. We've done the ambulance, we've done the bone marrow transplant. We've really tried. We work very closely with Mr. Aubin about what does the hospital need and how can we fulfill that need.
You've been to a bunch of these events in the past. What's been your favorite moment?
Ooh, that's hard. I would say, well, first of all, having not gone to the University of Florida, the response that Tim Tebow got was just amazing. We sold out the TU Center. I mean, it was crazy. But I'd say one of the most special moments was last year. We had Theo Epstein, who was the manager of the Red Sox and the Chicago Cubs, or the general manager. And he went into one little boy's room, and he has 2 boys. And he came out and he said, I want to contribute to his GoFundMe page. Now that never happens. And that was a very special moment.
See, I expect the speakers, once they go through the hospital, to go, you know what, I don't even need my fee, just donate my fee right to the hospital.
Yeah.
Does that ever happen?
I believe one time.
Okay, all right.
Not really, but keep saying it.
Speakers, you don't need the money.
No.
The kids need the money. That's what
I
the
am a
women's
little
board was created
surprised
for.
that
they're not,
doesn't happen
you know,
more.
touched so
I
much
guess-
and overwhelmed.
I guess they would get so many requests
They do.
similar, and so
They
they're-
actually
yeah, that
do,
makes a lot of
and
sense.
you know,